All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to February the 28th. It is 10 a.m. right now, which means it's time for Take Your Shot Media Crew presents Double Dribble episode number 79, the Supernova with Al Smith. Before we get to that, I want to do a real quick disclaimer for you guys. Again, whatever is said here is the opinion of the panelists or the guest. It has nothing to do with Take Your Shot Media Crew in general. This is people's opinions. This is people's experiences. This is what people have been through. So if you feel offended in any which way, feel free to hit us up on Instagram at take_your_shot_media_crew and we can discuss it. But that's not going to happen because we've got a respectful, very knowledgeable panel here. We'll get started with my panel right now. We got the agent Drew, one of the smartest ones on the panel. Drew, say what's up to the people, please.
That's a compliment. I'll take it. Thank you. I am the smartest one here. Thank you.
We love you too. We love you too, Drew, you brat. Anyway, speaking of brats, look who's here this week. We got Joshua Pangan. Joshua Pangan, one of the best broadcasters in all of the ABA. Josh, say what's up.
Feeling this morning.
What's up? You're kind of cutting out, but we're good. And then, of course, the man who brings it to you on the camera. He's on the mic for most of the games with me. The man, the myth, the legend, the go baller, George Ochola. George, say what's up.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's everyone feeling?
Hey, we're doing amazing. So, all right. So, and before we bring him on, dude, let's give a little bit of background on this amazing guy. This guy's a father. He's a grandfather of, I believe, 8. He's been a coach. He's been an owner. He's been a district coordinator, a regional coordinator. He's been in the ABA for 20 years, you guys. That's half my life. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing to me. He deals with owners, coaches, general managers, the higher ups, literally on a daily basis. He's made some pretty huge names, which we'll talk about later on. I'm talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the unk of the ABA, Mr. Al Smith. Good morning, Al. How you doing, brother?
Morning, everyone. How are you?
We're ready, dude. I'm excited, man. 20 years. I can't wait to hear the stories that you're gonna bring, my friend. I've worked for you in the past, and I know we've talked about some things. So I'm really excited for you to bring it to the panel, bring it to the world. Again, guys, this will be on internationally broadcasted YouTube as well. So hopefully we'll just get this out to everybody. I know we got people watching in the audience. I know we're gonna have people watching in the eastern regions of the ABA as well. Maybe some other leagues as well. Who knows? So again. Al, dude, let's just get it going, man. Maybe just a little bit of background on Al the man, and then possibly into Al the basketball coach slash owner, and then we'll just bounce off you from there and have some fun. The floor is yours, my friend. I know you can talk, so let's do this.
Me, the talker, never.
Whatever.
Um, I mean, I don't really know how to really answer that question because it sounds like you want me to kind of like brag on myself, and I'm not really
Go
big
for
on
it.
that.
That's what it's all about.
But as far as who I am, I was born in Fresno. I was raised in the South, so I was taught values, morals, character, and loyalty. So,
Okay.
these are the principles that I've been able to live by and hold true to who I am, my character, and be able to get results in life on whatever level I might be on or whatever I may be doing at that time.
Mhm.
So that's who I am as a person, right? I have a background in real estate, sports and basketball. I did about 26 years in mortgage.
Oh.
As a licensed real estate agent or mortgage banker. So I also have a license in private placement because I got my Series 22 and 63 when I first moved to Southern California when I was in my 20s. So, I've done mutual funds, corporate notes, things like that. So, that's a little bit about my professional career. I've also served some time in the military.
Awesome. Thank you for your
So
service. Appreciate you.
you're welcome. I did 12 years in the military. I was an instructor there. I got out as an E6. Should have stayed in and retired. I don't know why I got out, but when you're young, you make those choices. But I was an instructor at the military academy in Arkansas and in California when I moved to California. I taught the NCOES courses, which was the educational courses to get promotions. So if you need to get promoted to E5, E6, E7, I taught those classes for your promotions.
Hmm.
So that's a little bit about my professional background. And there you have it. That's pretty much all I got to input to
All
get you
right.
started with.
All right, cool. Well, we appreciate that. So Fresno to the south, depending on what part of Fresno you lived in. Again, I lived in Fresno for a year. They're like LA. They have all the different areas. They got like the countryside, they got the agricultural side, they got the bulldog side. If you know, you know. What
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
Fresno were you at? Do you know, or were you too young to
West
know?
Side, you already know. West Side,
Oh,
off of
bulldog
Jensen.
side, bulldog side.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you. That's about where I was. I was in that area. Um, Mortgage. What was it like?
good.
What was it like doing real estate and mortgage, dude? I mean, you had to deal with a lot of rejection, I'm assuming.
Um, it was a fun business. I mean, I liked it. I'm just basically a guru in sales. I mean, in that industry, as I worked through that career, I was more or less sales manager for companies like, Nova Star Home Loans, which is where we got the name.
That's where we
Um,
got the name. Got it.
yep.
Okay.
Which I was also the vice president of national sales for Help You Finance, which is located in Irvine. We were in Orange at the time, but now they're in Irvine, new name. Um, so I've done a lot when it comes to sales. So rejection is just something that we've worked through. You're gonna get rejection in sales if you're in sales. You just have to learn how to work through rejection. Rejections is nothing but a cry of someone trying to find a way, right? Um, to make it work for them.
Hmm.
Because right now that way doesn't work. So you just have to figure out what it is that's standing in the way of making this work for you. And if you can knock those obstacles out of the way, you usually will have a sale and you build a good relationship with that person because you took the time with them to listen to their needs and actually do something for what they wanted and get a result that they were looking for. So,
Hmm.
that's kind of like how the mortgage industry was. It gave you fulfillment and what you did at the end of the day. You were helping people secure homes for their families. So it gave you, a real good sense of your job being a fulfilling job.
Hmm. And I see that when I work with you. I've worked with you for many years in both being a GM, both being an announcer, doing some gigs for you, and you do take that approach, and I respect that approach because you're like, okay, we're not going to do certain things, but I'm going to work with you on certain things, so we're going to make this work together. And a lot of owners, people, bosses, they don't do that. The military life. First up, what branch were you in, if you don't mind me asking?
I was in the Army National Guard.
Army National Guard. Awesome. And you said 12 years. So 12 years, you're getting a lot going in 12 years. Is there anything that you took from the military that you took into your business life, into your real estate life, from the military?
Absolutely. A lot, actually. The structure, the military teaches you structure. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you consistency. Um, so it teaches you pride. All those things you take into the business world, you take into the civilian world, to make sure that you do things in a manner that is conducive to life and that is respectable to society.
Mhm.
So you take a lot from the military when it comes down to things like that. And then, as an instructor, teaching classes to adults, you got to remember, I was only in my 20s,
Oh, crazy.
as an E5, E6. And the classes that I taught, I'm teaching classes for guys to get promoted to E6 and
Hmm.
E7. And on a real reality basis, when you get promoted to E6, E7, at the time that I was doing, serving time in the military, you were in your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s.
Hmm.
Okay. So, and this was in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? So some of the racial layers were
Hmm.
removed, but still there. And in my 20s, teaching classes to Caucasian males that are in their 40s and 50s, where there was still, layered in racism.
Hmm.
That was a challenge. So you have to be creative in your approach and how you teach a lesson
Hmm.
to someone that really doesn't want to hear anything you have to say,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So, those are some of the things that I took from the military that you bring to the business world. And it's automatic experience with dealing with certain personalities, dealing with emotions, dealing with characters. So I learned all that in the 12 years that I served in the military teaching classes, just how to deal with people.
Hmm.
And then the classes that I taught was, human needs. You teach classes on human needs. You teach classes on communication. And I was pretty much our top instructor when it came to our communication classes, navigation classes, and when it came to human needs and things like that. Those are the top courses that I taught for the classes that I was teaching.
Sounds like we could use that, use you in some high schools. They need to get some common sense classes. Drew, I see you nodding over there. I see you taking some mental notes. You're our business guy on the panel. Do you have any business related questions about these topics that we just talked about?
Yeah, the first one that Mr. Smith brought up was literally like when you're in sales, you gotta kind of build a thick skin for rejection.
Absolutely.
When I owned a car business for 16 years and flipping
Yeah.
and selling cars, obviously you're going to get rejection. You'll get many people come that I call them tire kickers just to come look at the car and not buy it. And the same
Yeah.
thing happened straight out of high school, working at like in retail, whether it was Toys R Us when I was working there or Target, and you're in sales, you're on the sales floor trying to make a sale so you can get a little bit of a commission. And it's difficult. But like I say, with anyone who owns a business, and this is a guy coming from a good, reliable car business he owned, but now runs two businesses now. Most businesses, you'll fail the first nine times before you finally get that one that
Yeah.
succeeds. So it's applauding Mr. Smith here, Al, to do that because it takes a strong mind, a strong will to get that rejection and then just move on forward into the next one. So
Hmm.
kudos to that, and I can relate to it 100%.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Josh,
Yeah.
Josh, you do your own business thing with the coaching. Do you have any business related questions regarding what we talked about?
I haven't anywhere near to that level of you, Drew or Al. It's nowhere near that. I mean, the biggest business that I got going on is like, which actually, I want to ask you about later, Al, when we get around to it, because I currently coach at this soccer club, youth organization for competitive club soccer, and my biggest thing, again, it's like, obviously they're young kids, so they don't get paid or anything like that, or they're just trying to come in. But my biggest thing is like just a lot of recruitment and like roster building and kind of helping the team, just not myself, but the team in general, build rosters because, that's how we get customers in. That's how we get the money in. So the club survives, right? So it's definitely, a lot. I want to say a lot on my shoulders, but it is a lot on my shoulders because if I don't get certain rosters built or certain teams, or if I don't convince parents or I don't convince people, then the club loses money and they could be in like a financial distress. And then I don't get paid. Our other coaches don't get paid, or others might not get paid as well. So again, I don't think it's anywhere near the level of you guys, but like, it's like a super dumbed down version of it. And like, I already stress on that. So I couldn't imagine like the actual stress like that you guys probably have went through. So yeah.
Hey, well, you got to start somewhere, man. To be honest, you when you find something that you're passionate about and that's what your dream consists of, you got to start somewhere. So it's a good start, and if it's a successful start, just keep building on that. You know what I mean? Um, and you'll find where you need to make adjustments, right? And then just doubling back to what Agent Drew was talking about, because you say he comes from car sales. One of the things that I was kind of like smiling about when it came to that. When I first got into the mortgage industry in '96, I came from private placement, right? I was pretty much going to do corporate notes and mutual funds and start doing uh, uh, commodities and go for my Series 7 and do all of that stuff. But one of the guys that I was working with pulled me over into real estate, We talked about it. He showed me his paycheck after the first 30 days. I was like, yeah, sign me up. Where do I go? So after I got over there, it was like they were doing a mass hiring and everybody was coming over. Long story short, the majority of the people that came from the car sales business. So they were already used to rejection. They were already used to the no. So they were already used to having to drill and press and pry and prod. So it was a perfect transition for them. And the money that they were able to make in return from what they were making in the car industry was more lucrative. So it was a perfect match. I was fortunate enough to be trained with those guys in this industry, and then coming from the industry that I was in, having the background from private placement and things like that. That's also a grind out sale because you're asking people to give you money in the tune of tens of thousands of dollars with no promise of a return, right? At least in the mortgage industry, it's a home that they already own. And if you're able to do anything that they're calling you for, then you're helping them because they're calling you because they either need money or they need to purchase a property. So it was just a different fulfilling or fulfillment in what I was doing on a daily basis, which is why it worked for me and the transition I made. But we were all the top sales people in the industry at that time because of our already coarse, thick skin that we've developed from the backgrounds we had coming in the door. So I just wanted to kind of speak on that because you're right, Drew. You do have to have thick skin. Without it, you'll die and you'll fail because you'll be deflated every day, just going through the monotonous routine of rejection.
Absolutely. And
Yeah, going
speaking
through
of,
the emotions.
oh, go ahead, George. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, on that note to add in, like, you just it's like going through emotions, you know, like, okay, what do I have to do better? Why am I not doing this? Like, how
Mhm.
can I get accepted to certain areas and everything? So yeah, it is a lot. It is a
Mhm.
lot.
Speaking of which, going through exactly all those emotions, you know who else goes through those kinds of emotions? Fathers and grandfathers. I know, see, he's already dealing with something right now. I could totally see it. All right, Al, who the heck? I've worked with you. I know you as a friend. We've had some silly conversations. We've had some serious conversations. We've had some fights. You know, that's what fathers and uncles and nephews do, you know? Who is Al
It's a
Smith
love and hate
the,
relationship.
yeah, who is Al Smith the father? And then who was Al Smith, the grandfather? Because I know when you become a granddad, it's a whole nother system. So who was Al Smith, the father, coming out of the military?
Um, um, okay, so you're right about that. And there's two
I knew
different
it.
you're right. There's two different sides of fatherhood, right? So as a father, your discipline, your teaching, the way and your expectations, your desires, what you want for your children. You want them to be successful. You want them to be the best at whatever they choose. You want to be able to mentor them. You want to lead them. You want to have them look at you for guidance, look up to you for whatever it is that they need because they're your seeds and you're responsible for teaching them and raising them, right? So that's the father side. And based on how you grew up is going to dictate how you raise your children, right? Because when you look at what I've told you already, when I started having children, the first thing that I did was join the military. So I immediately learned structure and all those things that we talked about earlier. And that was for my first child, right? Um, so that was a blessing to be able to do it in that that manner with those steps. Um, because I was 19 when she got pregnant and I was 19 when I joined the military, right? So just to kind of give you a little bit of insight on how that all came together. Now, with grandchildren,
He's already
this
smiling,
is
y'all.
a little different, man, because now you're more proud of what you've accomplished as a parent, right? And now you're watching your children go through what you went through, having them,
Mhm.
right? So you try to just sit back as a grandparent and hopefully if you did the right thing raising your children, they're going to do the right thing raising their children. And you just enjoy the ride, sitting back, watching how it all comes together. Now, for you in particular, Ricky, you've been able to see my grandchildren at games.
Hmm.
You've seen my granddaughters. You've seen my grandson. You guys are on my page, so you've even seen my grandson do a little skit on me on my social media,
Hmm.
right? And that was pretty funny because he was spot on with it, and I didn't even know he was paying attention like that. See, that's the other thing that you find out about
Most
kids,
definitely.
right? That they're paying attention at some of the things that you don't even think that they're paying attention to. So when you're around kids, you have to be careful on how you conduct yourself because they're just going to absorb it all like a sponge. So um, y- you more or less spoil your grandchildren and you do all the things that you know good and well is going to make it harder for the parents to raise them.
That's my dad right there. Oh my God.
Right? But that's the fun part of being a grandparent because you can do all the spoiling and make them feel good and all that, and then you can just send them right back home. Hey, you got to go now. I'll see you later. Go to your daddy. Go to your mama. Right? The ride is over. You got to go home. Get
Yep.
out of here. So, but it's a blessing, man, and I would not exchange it for the world. I love all of my
Hmm.
grandchildren. I have eight and they are all blessings to me. I still have one granddaughter that I haven't met yet. She's in Texas.
Okay.
I just met my daughter's granddaughter for the first time this past week because she had to come out here because my mom passed about a month ago, and
I'm
we had a
sorry.
memorial service on Saturday this past weekend. So all of my family was here, and I got to see my granddaughter from my daughter for the first time, and
Hmm.
she's two. So, it was a happy, sad moment. It's
Hmm.
mixed emotions, but it's just another fact of life. It's just one of the things that we go through. And, I've seen it as a youngster, so I kind of already know how to deal with those emotions and I know how they come, you
No,
know.
100, 100. And again, like you said, it's going to sound very Disney-ish, but the circle of life, like you, unfortunately, your mother passed on condolences from our panel to you. But then you get to meet your grandbaby. Like we had that happen with our family, I believe, as well. We had a baby born a little bit after we had, unfortunately, a family death as well. Um, but like you said, I 100% agree with you on the kids are watching you thing because my son was a flippin' parrot. Every little thing. And even now, just to be a smart ass, he'll throw stuff at my face. Oh, dad, but you do it all the time. I see you do it all the time. I'm like, oh, this mother effer right here. Come on. And he's 14. He's 14 now, Al. Yeah. And I've seen your grandbabies, they work hard. They're going to be good business women. I've seen how hard they work, and they do a hell of a job. So, okay, before we move on to basketball related stuff, does anybody on the panel have any family related questions? George, you're a huge family man. You got any family related questions?
And just so you know,
Go ahead. Oh,
before
hang on. Go ahead.
before
Go ahead.
before George comes out with that, you see my granddaughter, man. She's a
Hmm.
pit bull
Yeah,
at
she is.
games.
Yes, she is.
She works the front door. She works the table, making sure that she collects for tickets. And she's very low key, laid back. She's not high
Hmm.
stress or anything like that. She's a beautiful young girl. She's only 11. And the thing about it, man, is that, and she just turned 11 in December, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
so,
Oh
but the
wow.
thing about it is, if you try to get in that game and you don't pay, she's coming to get you, bro.
She'll
She'll
knock you
come to
over.
the stand. Yeah, she'll
I
come
tell
to the
her,
stands and
yeah,
everything and
I,
hold and hem you up.
I show her the shirt before I even get to the table. I'm like, you know who I am. I got my two partners coming. We're good. No, no, she don't mess
Right.
around, bro. She don't mess around. I love it.
Yeah.
But
But
that
Oh,
was,
but
she's
she
hard
does it
nosed, and that's what
because
you respect.
yeah, she
yeah,
knows.
and at home, what we do for her to be so motivated to do that is she comes to the game because she knows that I'm going to pay her for
Hmm.
coming, for the work that she does for me.
Of
So
course. Yeah.
she's already tuned into, hey, I'm getting paid. So
Yeah.
I need to make sure I do a good job for
Hmm.
Pawpaw because I want my money. And she'll tell me,
Yeah.
Pawpaw, I want, and she'll do me like this. She's in my, Pawpaw, I want my money. Okay. I'm like, okay, back up off me.
I love it.
Yes,
Little,
she
little
be patting
business
my
mogul,
pockets, man.
little business mogul in the making. I like it. George, you
Yeah.
got about 45 seconds. You got anything family related you want to ask?
Yeah, how many any grandsons do you have in the family, or is this just granddaughters?
Oh, I have two grandsons and six granddaughters.
Okay.
No,
So
Yep.
wow.
he's a quarter
Okay.
of the way to the
Two
basketball team
boys,
there.
and the boys are the oldest too. They
Okay.
were the first ones. All the
Okay.
rest have been girls ever since.
There you go.
No.
So the protectors came first, and now you got
It worked out
the
perfect for you.
the harem is coming
Yeah,
next.
just
Right.
the way Al likes it, man. The boys are born first, and the girls are
The
born
boys are,
last.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yep.
I love that. Josh, Drew, you guys anything family related before we move into basketball?
Go to hoops.
Go to hoops. Sounds good to me. All right, Al,
Oops.
I know you've been a coach. I know you've been an owner. I know you've been a DC, RC, all that madness. Did you ever play? And if so, what leagues were you in?
Didn't play.
Wow.
Nope.
Okay.
So it's kind of strange because I grew up in Arkansas, like I told you, small town, a little small layer of racism, but we were an athletic school in high
Okay.
school, middle school. Everybody in the town were athletes, and I'm talking about like dumb athletes. So our coach was blessed to have a pretty good roster of options, right?
Hmm.
I was a small guy in high school. I was shorter because I didn't grow until I was a senior.
Oh, wow.
So, I may have been about 5'6", 5'7" throughout that whole period. Um, wasn't necessarily the greatest ball handler, but I had a shot. I still had the wet ball.
Hmm.
And I just didn't feel that it was going to be fair for me to try to get on that team with the players, which they were my friends anyway. We all grew up together.
Hmm.
These are all bigger guys. They're more athletic than me. They're stronger than me. I'm my best friend, Andre. This guy, I'm talking about standing flat-footed underneath the basket, jumping straight up in the air, and will double pump a dunk in the
Nice.
seventh grade. Okay? Like with
Wow.
authority. It wasn't like he was barely getting over the rim. This is in the seventh grade, bro. Okay?
That's crazy.
So I'm not making this up. And he's just one of the guys that was able to dunk that young, right? I was barely touching the bottom of the net in the seventh grade. I was happy just to slap the net and make it wrap around the hoop. You know what I mean? So
There you
that
go.
was exciting at that time. But these guys were just on a whole nother level, and I respected that. Um, and then later on, which is where I pretty much because I had a love for basketball anyway.
Hmm.
It was one of the sports where I saw it was an equal playing field. I could still bring a big man to his knees in this sport,
Hmm.
right? So I still had the passion for following the game, loving the game, watching the game, being involved in the game. So, that was just who I was. I got the opportunity to start coaching at this level and being around the game to create influence in 2004 when I met Antoine, my business partner, coach,
Hmm.
player that I've been with since in 1999, right? And we developed a strong relationship, and since then we basically have morphed into brothers,
Hmm.
right? I mean, he came with me this past weekend to my mom's memorial service, right? Because we do a lot together.
Hmm.
Um, and he knew mom and respected mom, had a love for mom, so he wanted to be there versus being at our game to coach our game that
Hmm.
we had on the same day,
Yeah.
right? So we started this in 2004 when he was filming Coach Carter,
Hmm.
and he told me that on the set
I
of Coach
remember
Carter, he
that.
had all these
Hmm.
extras and they were on set, right? Running hills in Northridge and running suicides in the gym. The practices that they were doing on this movie set was live D1 practices.
Oh,
And the
wow.
players that were in this movie were actual Division I players,
Oh,
right? That
wow.
was just trying to break into Hollywood that had graduated. So
Hmm.
he said, well, why don't we just hold a tryout? There's a tournament coming up in Vegas, the $10,000 tournament that happens in April every year. There's a tournament in Vegas. Why don't we just do a tryout, put a team together, and try to go get that $10,000? The entry fee is $1,500. If we could get the $1,500, we could do it. I said, okay, let's do it. I'll try and get a sponsorship from the
Hmm.
company that I'm working for. So at that time, I was just getting promoted to sales manager at
Okay.
Nova Star Mortgage, right? And I went to my boss and I told him, I said, hey, I got this basketball team. I said, we want to go to Vegas and take them, put them in this tournament. I need a sponsor. It's going to take about $2,500 for us to do it. You guys want to sponsor the team? And he was like, you know what? Let me talk to JR. JR was his boss. And I think that should be reasonable because he's looking for some stuff that he can donate to right now.
Mm.
So the timing just worked out. He went and talked to him. JR said, yeah, no big deal. He'll cut you a check. So he cut me the check
Wow.
for 2,500. We paid the $1,500 entry fee, took the 1,000 and bought room and covered the rooms for the players for that weekend. We went out there, had a great tournament. We didn't win it, but in our pool, we lost one game,
Oh, wow.
right?
Okay.
But only one team from our pool was to go to the finals, and there was a team in our pool that was undefeated, so they went to the finals over us.
Hmm.
After that, though, since I saw how well we played, I was like, man, let's just go ahead and put this team in the Drew League because Drew League was like within a few weeks after that tournament, and we'll just go ahead and roll with it all summer. And he was like, yeah, that's perfect. Because I was looking for a team for the Drew League after I went up there and started watching the games. And I told
Hmm.
him, I said, this is the environment I've been looking for. This is kind of like how it is in Arkansas where I grew up. This is how we go at it when we compete. And this is where all the NBA players was coming
Hmm.
to play in the summertime that lived in LA. So it was just a lot going on, man. And from that tryout, we came out with players like Jan Michael Thomas from Washington State. I think he still holds a record for the 3-point shooting. If not, he held it at the time that we recruited him. I had Gabe Hughes from Cal Berkeley. He was their center, 7-footer. He was like a rubber band, dunked everything. I had Brian Weathers from Cal Berkeley, played with Gabe. He was their point guard. He had a contract when he got on our team already to go overseas and play, but he wasn't going to the NBA. I had Andre Mahorn, Rick Mahorn's nephew. I had Frank Temple, both of
Wow.
them from Georgetown. So I had top level players, even though they were not well known, they were somewhat known,
Hmm.
and they came from Division I schools. So we went into the Drew League that year. Our first game was against Pasadena, who was the returning champions.
Oh, that's
They
my
had Sick with
hometown. I
it.
was born there.
There you go.
Yeah, they had Sick with it on the team. They had Kenny Jackson, Action Jackson on the team. Killer guards, man, in the Southern California area. They had just won a championship. Al Carcamo, which was their utility player in the post. He does everything for you in the post, and he can step out and hit the shot. They had a squad, bro. We beat them the first game by 14. I went to Dino, who's the commissioner. I said, Dino, this your returning champion? He said, yeah, that's them. I said, man, we about to win this. I said, it's gonna be easy. We about to
Al trash talking?
this the,
No,
the first
never.
week,
I
bro.
mean,
After the first week, I'm telling you, he
I was
looked
from
at
that
me.
area where they do a lot of trash talking.
That's how I grew up, man. That's like, yeah, if you're gonna do
But you got to
something, you're gonna
back
do
it.
it with the intent that you're going all the way, and ain't nobody stopping you. Once you
Yep.
learn how to do something, you feel like you're the best at it anyway. So I was Superman
Right.
after we beat the champions. So I told
There you
Dino,
go.
we winning. He looked at me, he said, "Ooh, there's some big words from somebody that ain't never played here." I said, "Yeah, you're right. We lost a couple games. We lost the problems during the regular season. So they was like, yeah, the Nova Stars, they're a fluke, and so we end up winning. I got to the playoffs. I got 6 players in the first week.
Hmm.
Second week, we win that game. Get to the second week, I got 6 players again.
Hmm.
We win that game. Get to the third week of playoffs, and they like, ooh, these Nova Stars, they've been shorthanded every week, but you don't count them out. They've been still winning games because I had the right 6 every week. And the reason I was shorthanded is
Mhm.
because I had guys going getting jobs at this time. Because we in August now. It's time for them to start going where they going to play overseas, right? Time to
Mhm.
go. The summertime was just stay in shape and stay ready to go when it's time to go overseas. And now I'm losing guys because they're going overseas
Yeah.
or they're going for tryouts or they're going for their first week and then they can come back. So I'm just trying to figure out how to keep this team going and win games during this time. And we won these games, man. But at the end of the day, when it came down to it, I looked at Dino and I was like, what? He said, yeah, yeah, you said y'all was gonna win. You
Got that
know?
respect. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I
Respect
got
is
the
earned.
respect, man. And that's what it came down to.
So were you,
Uh
go ahead, keep going. You're good.
no, 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 go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
No, so you were sponsored by the real estate company to give you the cool Nova Stars name. Now we know where it came from, you guys. I didn't know for all these years. Um, Did that officially make you an owner? Did you consider yourself an owner at that point, or did you not consider yourself an actual owner until the ABA? And when did ABA start for you? Because you've already been in the Drew, you've already
Okay.
done a couple things on the side. What year did you start? You said you've been in the ABA at least 20 years. So when did that start, and when did you consider yourself an owner?
Okay. So here's how it worked. I recruited Tony Leonard to be my coach. Tony Leonard is Vashawn Leonard's coach,
Okay.
right? Played in the NBA, or Vashawn Leonard's cousin, I'm sorry, played in the NBA. And he has relationships with a lot of big men because he's a big man coach, right? So he's how I ended up with Gabe. I ended up with Dwayne Richardson. I think you even know D. Rich, Ricky, because he coached
Hmm.
in the ABA before
I think so,
for
yeah.
the Inland Empire Invaders back in the day,
Oh, wow.
right?
Okay, yeah.
Um, but he was one of my players that was on that championship team in 2004 that won it all. You know, him and Doug Thomas and Andre Patterson from UCLA. I mean, the banner is on the wall. You can see all the people on that team from the banner on the wall at the Drew, right? So, um, saying all that just to kind of bring it full circle is that when I recruited Tony Leonard, he had to go to Atlanta for some stuff that he was already doing as, Tony Leonard. He already had relationships. He knew people. His summer was going to be busy. So after we had our first week at the Drew League, he was like, Al, I ain't going to be able to coach this summer, man. You're going to have to find a coach or you're going to have to take, I was like, Tone, I'm not a coach. I didn't, I hired you to coach, bro. I ain't got a coach. I said, what we gonna do? He was like, what you mean you're not a coach? He said, when we were in Vegas, you was the one that told me to sit Brian down, Brian Weathers, and he was favorable to Brian Weathers because, hey, came from Cal Berkeley. He already got a contract to go overseas. He been training them all summer, so he know what he about. And he's leaning to him as a favored player over some of the guys that I just recruited because I just met them all for the first time right now. I'm
Hmm.
not favored to Brian. I just see what's going on the court. I see Brian jacking up a bunch of shots and ain't passing the ball to nobody because he got a contract all ready to go overseas.
Hmm.
I said, so Brian, I said,
Mhm.
Tom, sit Brian down, bro. He out there jacking up shots. We killing chemistry. He not getting back on defense. I said, put BJ in. BJ locks up. Give him a chance to lock up on defense. So he made
Hmm.
that change for me. We started coming back. We won that game by like 15. So
Hmm.
he was like, well, just do the same thing you did when you told me to sit Brian down. Just do that.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah.
yeah, all
You
right.
were and
Hard
you
can
were
it be? Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. You were saying earlier in the show that you didn't play as much. You had guys that were finger quote better than you. Do you feel that the time that you were on the bench, you absorbed a lot of the game and just kept it in there? Because I know some years I was in baseball, I batted like, five, 600. I was an
Right,
amazing player. And then there was years where I batted ninth and I did horrible,
right.
and I was a catcher. And that's a lot of you have to see everything, take everything in. And I feel like if you looked in baseball, a lot of catchers are managers now. And then do you feel that the time that you spent on the bench, you absorbed that information and you're using more of that now as a coach, as an owner?
Absolutely. Because when you are in sports or into a sport, if that's something that you really enjoy, if you're around it,
Hmm.
you're just going to be a sponge at all times, right? You're going to learn things about the game that you see from the sidelines. You're going to learn things about the game that you see from the floor. Um, so again, even though I didn't play at the school level, I still play like at the recreational level. Fast action, hoops
Hmm.
unlimited, intramural sports back in
Okay.
the country when I grew up, because that's what it was called then before
Yeah.
they changed it to rec leagues. They called it intramural.
Okay.
Um, I still played at that level to still get a feel for what organized basketball
Hmm.
feels like, what organized basketball looks like, and how I fit into that cycle and that system as an individual, and what
Hmm.
happens with my brain, how it shifts from being a player on the court to being an observer on the sideline to being the manager of the outcome of the game from the bench as a coach. There's a shift in your brain that happens when you're in those roles, right? And if you're paying attention, you can see those different transitions that happen
Hmm.
of what now becomes important. right? When you're on the floor, what's important to you as a player, it's not necessarily what the coach cares about, right? So being able to deliver the message from what the coach needs out of the player so that the player can get a great visual mentally of what his role is going to be to produce this outcome. That's the challenge for every coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is bridging those two pieces together from what you see here and what this player is going to do on the court and trying to put these two pieces together and make that player see the value in why what your brain is thinking is going to work. Right. And for me, the good thing is that I started out doing this as a champion. First year I ever got started, I'm a champion in the Drew League, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that showed me that actually I had a really good eye and knack for being able to put those two pieces together. You know, we had a little bit of turmoil throughout the season with my first year guys. They knew I was a first year coach, never coached before. So Andre Mahorn tried to check me one time on a sub, right? I subbed him, and hey, this is Andre Mahorn, so he from
Yeah.
Georgetown. He feel like he's a great IQ player, which he was, great IQ. He had it down, but there was this one team where it was a we're at a disadvantage because he didn't see where him being on the court trying to pull his man on the elbow for his patented elbow jumper that was a killer shot. It was hurting us because on the defensive end, he wasn't giving us any presence around the basket. They were pulling him out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, I need to sub. So I put my man Robbie Banks in the game. Robbie is a 7-footer, he's like 6'11", 6'10".
Mm-hmm.
He can guard the post and he can stretch and guard the perimeter, right? So it's like, okay, if you want to pull that player to the perimeter now I got coverage because Robbie's 6'10", he's going to cover that perimeter. And if you try to beat him to the basket, 3 steps, he's at the basket and beating your shot on the glass. So he's going to be able to handle that now, and we're not going to be deficient right there. So he came to the bench. Al, what's up? Why you subbing me out? I was killing. I said, don't trip, Drake. Sit down. Here, watch this.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you wasn't able to get us rebounds, bro. And on the defensive end, they were stretching you out. Watch what happens now with Robbie. 3 plays in, Robbie, get a block, Robbie, get a steal,
Mm-hmm.
Robbie, take his man to the post. He said, okay, coach, he hit me on the leg. Okay, coach, I see what you're saying. And he went sat at the end of the bench, right? Immediately, I got his respect and the rest of the bench's respect.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's where the coaching came in with that team. Now, with future teams after that, it was a bigger challenge because you have guys that don't get the IQ part of it. They don't understand that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just more upset that they got subbed out and they got to sit down for a minute. They don't care about the fact that we were losing and now we're winning.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. But so, you have to look to recruit players with that mentality that understand those dynamics.
No, 100.
But I'm going through that right now with my current team that they don't get it. They don't understand that our coaching style is already proven. We were champions from the beginning and at the highest level of leagues that there is in Southern California. Then we went to another league. We won a championship there. Then we went to the JBL with 2 teams. Both of our teams played each other in the championship game. Okay? So it's like, look, from a coaching perspective, if you join the Nova Stars or New Image, shut up about what you think needs to happen on the court.
Exactly. No, 100, especially if you're the new player, Yeah, exactly.
Just sit down on the bench and let's roll.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
So that's kind of like, some of the stuff that has happened up to now. And the thing about this is all this was going on, and this is what all of you guys are going to love, and it's going to blow your mind. While we were the number 1 competitors against problems, right?
Okay.
That was LG's team.
Oh my God.
That he played as a player.
What a small world.
Right?
Wow.
Crazy.
He was a player on that team, and he had been a player on that team before I came on the scene. They had been to the championship in the Drew League like 3 times before I got there. So when they got there against us, it was their 4th time. So they thought they was about to win this championship. We had lost like 6 games in the regular season. So when we won that championship, we won it with a record of 10-6, right? Everybody else in the Drew League that was in the playoffs, they like 13-3, 14-2, 15-1. You know, we knocking them all one at a time. It's like,
Wait,
and
where were you
so
guys seated at?
we was like a fourth seed in our division because it was two different divisions. We was like fourth or fifth on our side, you know, and there was two sides of 8 teams. It was like 16 total teams, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a middle of the road seed to end the season. Crazy,
That's
right?
wild.
But that's
Yeah.
also what has given me the experience of doing what I do in the ABA, which you'll see me in the regular season. Look at us now. You know, we're 9-10, right, on the season. But going into the playoffs, I guarantee you, every team that we see is afraid of us. They do not want to play us, okay? Because this is the time that if I'm going to beat you, this is when I'm going to beat you.
It's a sprint now. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a sprint.
And every time that I played you before now, it's been a great game up until a certain point where you may have started to stretch that game out. But up until that point in the game, because you never started out and routed me out from the beginning. You never blew me out. I had you in a close game up until halftime or all the way through the third quarter, right? So it's playoffs now. My team coming in with a different mindset because that's how I coach. That's how I prepare, right? So that's the long and short of that story. Now, I want to go back to cover one question you asked me that I never answered when I started in the ABA, because that was just when I started coaching in 2004. I started in the ABA in 2006. A couple of my players were playing in the ABA, and they asked me to come coach. Like Bone Collector.
Oh, Bone Collector. That guy's a monster.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Larry
Bone
Williams.
Collector.
He was the first
Bone
one that
Collector.
told me to come watch his games in the ABA. He was playing for the Long Beach Jam. They had a game. He told me to come check it out at J. Sarah High School. I went to watch his game. I was like, oh, this is a cool little league. You know what I mean? And that's how I started to see the ABA. And then a couple of players asked me to come coach in the ABA. Guess who that was? LG.
LG.
I only know because he talked about it. He did talk about it.
Right?
He talked about it in our
So
episode. Yeah.
that's how I came to start coaching in the ABA. I think it was around 2006 or 7. He was playing on the Rainmakers, the Inland Empire
That's
Rainmakers.
what he said. Yep.
And so I came to help him out. So as I started coaching that team, I'm looking at the way it's set up, the ownership. I'm like, this is garbage, right? I can't keep. I got a reputation now, right? I
Oh
got
my God.
championships in the Drew League. I got championship in all these other leagues. I'm like, I got a reputation. I can't be doing this. The owner was ducking refs in the third quarter because she wasn't paying them, right? So the refs was stopping the game
Wow.
and
Classic
holding up
ABA
the
out.
game to
Classic
get paid.
ABA.
Josh.
Players was going
Oh,
in their
man.
backpacks and divvying up the ref fees,
That's
right?
wild.
Just so we could keep the game going. I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna be in the ABA, then I just might as well put my own team in the ABA and do this myself because I'm not gonna do it for you and patch up your holes that you have and make your team look good. And you're a terrible owner because as your coach, you didn't even give me the schedule of the season. You
That's
didn't even give me the
wild.
schedule for the season. You was
That's
telling
wild.
me
That's
that,
wild.
hey, just know that we're gonna have a game every weekend. I'll tell you where we're gonna
Oh my
play.
God, I hear that so
What?
much.
No. I
That
Especially
said
does not
so.
help anything at
well,
all.
me and
That
George
doesn't
and me and
surprise
George,
me.
well, Drew too. Like, and me and our
It
defense, we
does
work for.
not. That does not
It's
surprise me.
so hard, and you know we work for 5 organizations this year, so it's like we're trying to balance everybody out. And then like even next week, which I'm gonna ask you about in a minute, we don't even know where the heck we're going, you know. So I would
And
like
that's
I'm
probably
sure.
on me
Let's
because
elaborate
It's
on that.
it's not it is, but it's not at the same time because we don't know the seating yet. We know like
Exactly.
one team that's gonna be home, and that's the Mob. We don't know
right.
anybody else, you know. So
The mob.
so let's jump into it real quick. I know we're already at the 45-minute mark, which we appreciate. Al Smith, again, this is episode number 79. That's with the Supernova. Al Smith, super cool story so far. Been an owner, a coach, your grandfather, father, the military. Again, thank you so much for your service. Real quick, we'll jump into you jump in from being a coach in 2006. You jump into being a district coordinator, which means you pretty much cover certain divisions, correct? Am I correct? Okay.
When
You
I was
covered
the division coordinator, that means I
division coordinator.
covered the division here in the southern region of the West.
Uh-huh.
right? But at that time, we didn't have regional coordinators at
Okay,
all.
we
It
didn't.
was
That's
just
right.
division
That's
coordinators.
right.
That was it.
When did the RC come about? Because I know we didn't have an RC for a while.
Yeah, after the first 2 years of DCs, I think it was, then we started to develop an RC. And it came about because the West was a large area of property, and there wasn't anyone to, I guess, successfully manage the
Hmm.
northern teams or the northern areas. So
Uh-huh.
I was basically managing both the South and the North.
Oh wow.
When Joe saw that I could do that, then he was like, he just made me the
The
regional
regional.
over the South
Why
and the
not? I
North,
mean, if you can do it, why
and
the
Yeah.
hell
bring on
not,
the
right?
yeah,
Why the
and
hell
bring on a
not?
divisional to kind of help me out as an assistant because I was already managing the entire West,
Yeah, I might as well get the
right?
extra pay and the time and the
Yeah.
recognition for it. Shit.
And we were up to about 45 teams at one point
Mm-hmm.
when,
That's insane.
as
That's
the
insane, by the way.
A
coordinator.
lot of teams.
That's crazy.
We
And
only
then
got
we're
about half of that now, but see,
and I
and it's better.
yeah, and we actually have a question about that later on. We're
Yeah.
again, we got about 25 minutes, give or take, and we might add a little bit of time if that's okay. Okay, so I just wanted to cover what a DC and RC was. You just covered that, and I appreciate that. Drew, we need to know where the hell we're going, what the brackets are. Drew, you had some playoff questions.
Yeah. So Al, going back to like playoff conversation, because you're saying your Nova Stars are going to be in there. So as the last I've checked the standings, right now Nova Stars I think sit in the 5 seed. So with that being said, are we going to go back to the 8 teams make the playoff format? Are we going with the four?
Six or
And then
No,
and then
it
I see
okay.
like also like last season, or at least the last 2 seasons, it was like the black division, blue, red, and white. Now we got like alpha and
I
beta,
didn't even know about that.
zeta. I mean, are we going Gen Z and are we
We're
doing
going college, we're
six?
back to
Are we
college,
doing
y'all.
6, 7 here? I
Yeah.
mean, what are we doing? 6 or 7 teams? You
Don't
know, it's
get off right now. All right, let's
but
watch
it's
Kick him
this.
just no,
out.
no,
Get
no,
him out.
It's
Get him out.
no, but
it's
no, no.
super duper confusing, bro,
Yeah,
Apparently.
because Joe, our CEO of the league, he feels like that there's a need to change the structure every year. He wants it different every year in structure, how it's done. But we tried to keep it very similar to last year's structure because that was actually the best structure we've
Which was
had
the
since
four.
we've done
Yeah.
this. Top four teams make the playoffs. Those are guaranteed
Semifinals.
teams, right? However, fourth seed has to play the fifth seed
Which is the
in a
playing
play-in
games.
game.
Okay, I like that. I personally like
Okay,
I
playing
don't
games.
mind that at
so
all.
yeah,
I don't mind
that's how it's going to be structured as far as that part is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Four will play five in a play-in game
Mm-hmm.
to advance to move on for the rest of the tournament.
So
Now,
go ahead.
when that game will happen will depend on the divisions that need it, right? So let's take our division for the
We
example,
definitely need it.
right? Because we've got what, six
At,
teams
at
that
least
are,
six.
yeah,
Yeah.
that are eligible for
Yeah.
playoffs and can make it. And after us, I think you got the Bulls, right?
Bulls. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you look at our bracket, you go with the top five because with the Bulls, even though they've got their 16 games, you look at their record, that's not a playoff eligible or worthy record, right? You put a team like that in, you're basically giving somebody a win, right? It could be a Cinderella to pop you, but in order to do that, they had to do some tremendous building at the end of the season to turn their season around. They had to have a win against a top team going into the last couple of weeks of the season to show that, hey, we rebuilt, we restructured, and now we're ready to compete at the highest level. Here's an example. We just beat the Suns,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they don't have anything like that going on, and their record is like what,
Well,
1 or 2 and 17?
yeah, they got the Hounds tonight and they got Guy Levy on Sunday.
Right.
So there you go.
That's two tough teams that they got to go beat, And their record right now is what? What's their record? It's like
3 and 8.
something.
They're three and
3 and 8.
eight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
you
bad.
look at 3 and 8,
Coming from a genius.
that's only
Yeah.
11
Oh,
games.
Yeah,
damn.
that's bad. Yeah,
Damn,
man, I'm
shots
telling you, that's
fired, shots
bad.
fired.
I'm
So
telling you,
I'm just
that's
joking. I'm
bad.
just
So,
messing
so,
with
but,
the
but, but hear me out, so you can really understand how it's going to work, how I think this through when I look at it. Right? They're at 3 and 8. That's 11 games.
Okay.
They're going to have 2 more games played this weekend. That's
So 13.
13 games. Right? the minimum requirement for playoff eligibility
16.
is 16.
What about if there was like
So
forfeits or anything like that? Does that get added at the end of the
there
like
was a
last
couple
year?
of forfeits that they had to suffer that gets added as a part of their 16.
At the end,
But it
yeah.
doesn't, and some of them are getting added as a win based on the time of the cancellation.
Okay.
Cancellation that happens on at the last minute, a day before the game you're supposed to travel, or a few days before the game that you're supposed to travel. That game is going to be awarded to the person that didn't cancel. That's a
Okay.
win,
Okay.
right?
And
Because they
those
may
get
have paid
but
money.
those get rewarded after this weekend, correct? At the end of the
Right,
season. Okay.
right.
That's where it gets
So I'm
confusing.
going through a bunch of, policing right now with the teams to get them to make sure that on my stats, um, which is what you guys see,
Hmm.
that all of their records are accurate and let me know if there's any wins that they should have as a reflection of
Hmm.
cancellations
And there's
that
been a
I need
few.
to add to their record.
Hmm.
Because by the end of the weekend, I want the records on my stats to be accurate to show exactly what the standings are with wins and losses and total games played for that team, right?
Hmm.
That helps me with seeding, that helps me with eligibility for playoffs.
Hmm.
So that would be a team as it stands right now that would be short 2 games or 3 games from playoff eligibility. So technically, they wouldn't even be considered of a team that I would need to worry about, right? Now let's go up north though right now. Let's look at the Knights. The Knights are 0-19.
Jesus.
But they've played
Not a
19
game to
games
worry about.
still. Yeah, exactly.
19 games played, not a single game won. But 19 games played is a hell of a season that they were here. They were present, they were committed, they
Mhm.
were loyal.
Mhm.
So it worked out because up north, what I'm doing with their red and white divisions is I'm combining them because the white division is thin with only 2 teams. The red
That
division is thin with only 3 teams. So they only got 5 teams
and
total.
we
So
we
guess
needed
what?
that last year. Bad. We
Yeah.
needed that last year. I
So
appreciate that
so
you did
that
that.
up north, we're combining those two. It'll be 5 total teams. So guess what? Works out exactly the
Yep.
same as how
Five.
we're going to do it
So
down here.
so it sounds like we're doing top five.
Right.
Okay, with the
Top
play in of
four
four.
Now,
automatically in
So
a play-in for 4 versus 5.
so it be
right.
right now, if you look at it mathematically, you guys would be playing the Hounds for the
Yeah.
play in. Mob
Yeah.
would be one, then Guy Levy, and then the Suns. Okay.
Yeah. So
And
Guy
now we at
Levy
least
will
kind of
play
know
the
where we're going,
Suns.
George.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So
Yeah.
Guy Levy will
Okay.
play the Suns.
Hmm.
And then once we decide the winner of us and the
4 or 5,
Hounds,
they face the Mob
that
and
winner
at
will
Mob.
play the Mob on Sunday, most likely. The way we want to try to do
Hopefully.
it is
Okay.
that the first game is going to be between the play-in, and we'll probably try to play that game on Friday. I got to talk to Ferran to see how that's going to work.
Okay.
If he can't get a gym, then we can play it at my gym on Friday night because that's my practice night anyway on Friday nights,
Okay.
right?
Well, that's okay.
So
We'll keep
I
an ear
have an
out.
available facility if necessary, but it's going to be Ferran's home game. But he'll have to figure out how he can work this out and get us a facility,
Okay.
or he can play us on Saturday,
In the morning
right?
or something.
And then just
Hmm.
turn around and play the Mob on Sunday.
Yeah.
But
Which,
the goal and the idea is to have one day of rest in
of
between because it's
course. No, of
playoffs now.
course. It's just Fridays are
Playoffs
really
now,
hard.
Mhm.
Are really hard for people. I know
right?
this weekend actually the guy Levy was supposed to play the Bulls yesterday, and then they had switched it because they didn't want to play on a Friday. It's just a lot more difficult with work and traffic and stuff like that. But I get what
Yeah,
you're saying too. I 100% get it from your end as well. And
yeah.
I think top five sounds good. I mean, Drew, you asked the question, what do you feel about it being the top five?
No, I actually enjoy that as a structure. Like you said, like we said, the red and the white, 2 and 3, it kind of does make sense because, like you said, like going with the Knights have been committed. 19 games, yeah, 0-19. The record speaks for itself, but they committed, they showed up. So they should be rewarded in a way. It's kind of like right now as I'm getting ready to go do an NCAA game, a Division 1 game regardless of what your record is, you still get to play in conference play,
Right,
and we got those Cinderellas that can run it. Like you're talking about a Cinderella. Al, you're
Hmm.
coming from a Cinderella at the Drew, your first year, you were 10 and
right,
6 or 10 and
right.
5, and you got seated in the kind of in the middle of the bracket and you ran
Yep.
the table.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't know if the Knights can run the table miraculously and win the
Right.
North. We
They
don't know
won't.
that.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
don't know. Then I'm going to hit at Josh. Hey, what happens if the geniuses would have ran the table that
They
year?
were like one,
That would
yeah,
be
they were like
incredible.
1-19 or
Three.
whatever
We had
that
three
year.
games. We
They
had
had three
Three. I'm
three
sorry,
wins.
games
three and
that
17.
year.
I'm
We won
sorry.
three. We won
They
three
had three
games that
wins,
year.
but I'm
It's
just
more than zero.
it makes a great story to
Yeah,
see a team like that still get an opportunity. And right now I love the play-in because the play-in
I
is kind of
agree.
gives
I
that
agree.
NBA mentality that it's like, hey, we did good enough, but hey, let's see if that eighth team really deserves to be an eight spot.
Mhm.
Now you got to play against that nine and see, oh man,
Right.
that nine.
I
Those are
love the plan.
usually the seeding when it comes to March Madness. Those are the ones I always have trouble, and it fucks up my bracket. Sorry to excuse my
Yeah.
language. That
Yeah,
eight
They
and nine
do.
seeding
exactly.
that always does it. I'm
Always.
like,
Kind of
God dang
like
it.
a wild card game.
And
Yep.
and you got to watch that 12 too.
Yeah,
Watch
Yes.
the
that 12.
12-5 matchup is always one too.
Yep.
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 So I like it. I like that we have structure. That's why when we were had who did we have on we had Dom from
Hmm.
the Royals
The
here,
Royals.
and we were talking about having the ABA championships finally on the West. Looks like they're in talks. We're going to have it in Vegas next
Yeah.
year.
Trying to get it in
Woo!
Vegas next
God,
year.
I hope
Actually,
so.
it's
I
actually
Yes.
hope
So
so.
I
we
want to
we
put
we
my
we
hat in
we,
right
we throw
now.
it down here in the
I
West. We
want to
throw it
put it
down.
right now on the spot to the
And
regional
that's
coordinator.
a doable game that we
We,
could all go to.
George, we want that game, sir. Give it to us.
You
We've
want that
earned it.
whole weekend,
We've
bro.
earned it. That is all. You've heard it.
Hey,
We want it.
listen,
Give it to us.
here's the deal.
And it's gonna be on my
We've
camera,
already
not on someone else's camera.
Let him
Oh, no,
talk,
put
no
this. I'll
George.
say
15-minute
this.
camera bull crap. No, 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 no,
Listen,
Let the man
no.
talk. Let the man talk. Let the man talk.
I'll say this. It's already confirmed that next year's finals will be in Vegas, right? So it's just basically a matter of we're setting up the structure of where's it going to be, who's going to host, not who's going to host, but where's it going to be hosted, right? So we can start working on building the sponsorships, things like that. All that stuff is happening.
Okay.
Okay. Now, obviously, if it's on the West, I'll have a huge voice in how it's done, who's going to be doing what, um, the whole nine. So you guys are definitely, in my opinion, the best live broadcasting crew in the league because you're the only ones that I see online.
Thanks.
Hey,
Backhand
thank you,
compliment.
appreciate that.
No,
No,
not
I
that
get what
there
you're saying.
aren't
I get what you're
other
saying.
crews. No, but hear me out. It's
There is
not
other
that there
crews.
aren't other crews. They're not doing anything to expand their reach.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Hmm.
That's why you guys are the best crew in the league.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So that's why I would definitely already lobby for you guys to cover the finals,
There we
right?
go.
And Josh, you need to come work for the Nova Stars and be the live announcer that covered Nova Star games. Like seriously, the way
He has
Ricky
like
covers
5
the
teams
games.
coming after him.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, there's only one that really matters, that does things right, that's professional, that looks the part, that plays the part, that smells the part, and smell me. So,
Literally, Josh, get in on that.
what's up, Anthony? I see you popping in down there, though.
So, and it's funny, good timing. We're just talking about the championships being in Vegas. And
Listen, I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt y'all interview. I pressed the wrong button.
you're good.
I,
No,
I had to
it's
make it
actually
awkward
good.
really quick, brother. I had to make it awkward real quick, but I just passing by, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I'm definitely having to listen here. Man, stop giving Al a hard time, man.
We love Al. Come on
We
now.
love Al. We let Al
But
speak.
Ant, he just said, I don't know if you heard, but championships are going to be in Vegas next year. How do you feel about that being the Vegas
Confirmed.
coach?
Oh wow.
Confirmed.
Confirmed already.
Wow.
Stamped.
Yeah.
And that
Hey,
means you'd
look,
be one of the
that's,
main reps.
if you guys can get to Atlanta, you should definitely look at
wish.
trying to get a flight out there,
I
bro.
wish I
Man,
could.
we don't got no sponsors unless they're
I wish
AA
I could.
sponsors.
That's
Trust me, we
crazy.
tried.
Right.
We've been asking
Yeah.
around, so I wish. But
Yeah.
Vegas, I'm there. I'm there. Regardless,
because
we're all there.
it's perfect
Yeah.
opportunity. You can
What?
have Ricky and Josh on the call,
Yep.
George on the
George
camera.
you
I'm
on
doing
stats.
the stats for the freaking championship.
Nothing's
like,
gonna mess up.
it's perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing though, what that we talked about last week with Dom on with Nick on the interview too. We've said we
Going through the mountains.
That,
and telling you can you hear me?
Now we
Yeah,
can.
you
we can hear
breaking
you.
up,
We got
but
you.
we
Okay,
got you back.
I was in the tunnel, my bad.
Yeah.
But
All right.
we've given you guys your flowers, man, and everybody is starting to see it. You
that,
know, and hearing it from Al, bro, and Al is a tough critic, man. And for Al to come out of here and pretty much say the same thing that we've all been saying, man, that should definitely mean something. Seriously.
No,
yeah,
that's humbling. We honestly truly appreciate
yeah,
it.
we
It's been a
respect that.
journey. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
Before you guys were even a part of the ABA, bro, I had spoken with a guy that was running our ABA news channel, right?
Hmm.
And I was trying to blow him up for a national guy to cover the ABA league. And I had a whole system set up for him, and it was pretty cool. It would have worked. But again, guys really wasn't into contributing the money that it took
Hmm.
for him to run this the way he needed to run it to cover the league in the way that he needed to cover it, right?
Hmm.
Because he had to pay producers to help him produce the broadcast, stuff like that, to get it timely. You know, because he had a life. We all got lives. We all do
Hmm.
other stuff. So to be timely with this, you need help and you got to pay other people. I
Absolutely.
was only asking the teams to pay $25 to do this for him because the power in the numbers is that $25 a head per team gave him enough money to do it. And I couldn't even get all the teams to put $25 into it. So one of the struggles of our league is having the funds to do these types of things. But I'm working on some stuff that, you know, you guys are probably gonna like, but we'll talk about that later because, you know, it's one of those hush hush things that
Of
I'm trying
course,
to do
yeah, it has
right
to be
now.
official
Yeah.
before you can say anything.
Mm.
Of course. So right now, you guys, we're about an hour and 15 minutes into the show. Al, I thank you so much again. This show is sponsored by E1 Connect Marketing, our guy Donovan Hilton. He's going through a lot of family things on it now, so we're thinking about him. But he supports us. He gives us gas money. He helps us get to these events. He helps sponsor this as well. So thank you to him and his family. Again, Double Dribble episode number 79, the Supernova with the Supernova, Mr. Al Smith. Super cool story so far. Too many supers in one sentence. We got to keep going. Al, are you okay for another 15 or 20?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, then I'm gonna shut my mouth and we're gonna roll along. Um, I'm excited. You just got me totally excited with the whole Vegas thing. My dream, ABA dream, is to have this panel cover a huge game like that, an all-star game, a championship game. And now you haven't confirmed it, but we're gonna try to make this happen, and that means the world to me. So thank you so much for that. Okay, I got
Oh.
one quick question, and then we're gonna jump into our closing portion. What is something you as a regional coordinator, what is something that you deal with on the daily that we would not expect from the outside? Oh, that good, huh?
Officials,
Okay.
the refs. It's a continuous battle for me just to try to find some consistency
Yeah.
and trust in the relationship. That relationship is missing some trust. It's missing some consistency and is lacking in transparency, right? There's things happening behind the scenes on that side of the table that we can't see that is a direct conflict of facilitating our needs,
Hmm.
right? Um, and I deal with that struggle and that challenge daily because I get labeled the black sheep, the big bad wolf, the
Well,
guy that's creating all the problems because I'm seeing all the deficiencies and I'm trying to address them so I can fix them so that we don't have them out here.
hmm.
But as I'm trying to fix them and address them, the person that's responsible for these problems is feeling some kind of way because I'm exposing his deficiencies. And people don't like to be exposed. And when they get exposed, they go into defensive mode. So that's been a struggle. It's been a struggle for a few years, actually. But that's what I deal with on a daily basis that you guys don't see, uh, which is why you have seen some differences in officials that approach the game,
Okay.
right? Uh, it used to be a little worse than what it is now because we've gotten some new blood. We've gotten some more officials with better character that's not involved into the politics that was being played. So that's kind of like where we are with it right now.
I love that. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. All right, so we're gonna jump into our closing. If anybody has anything else before we jump into our closing segments, thumbs down if you guys don't have anything. We're all good. We're all good. We're all good. All right,
We're
cool.
good. We're good.
We're gonna move on to off the hoof right now with the goat, Drew Sanchez. Usually this is a business related question. I know y'all talked at the beginning, but I know Drew's got something else. So Drew, it's yours.
I got a lot of things. So, but well, going back to it, like you say, that's what you did with the daily was the refs. So this is my off the hoof, like Ricky kind of introed. It's kind of a business mind, but we've already spoke business, so now we'll just get to the brass
Hang on
knuckles
one second. Hang on one
You're
second,
good.
Drew.
You're good. Let him deal with life.
life.
Y'all, I'm excited. Vegas.
So while
Are you
he's
kidding
stepping
me?
away, yeah, I mean, this is a
Wow.
big shocker. Finally,
Hmm.
Joe Newman made a correct call and actually
I
finally coming to the
agree.
West,
I agree.
respecting the West.
100%.
We're getting we're getting
We've
the
earned
I
it. We've
think we've
earned it.
earned that 6 years ago dealing with COVID,
Yeah.
and it was a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this is the dream squad right here.
Yep.
If there's no way none of us are part of it, then I would be
We
pissed.
have
But
to be part of
I,
it.
I, I the way Al's going towards it, it looks like we're going to probably pretty much be covering it. Granted, with hopefully our
Dude,
lives
that would
are,
be
we're
so
still here in
awesome.
a month or so
But we're not
to
going
do,
nowhere.
or in a year or so.
We're not going nowhere
Um,
unless we can make some big NBA squad or something. We ain't going nowhere.
but
That
like, but
that's awesome.
I'll go back to Al when he gets back on it because I got a perfect question as what he said about
Yeah,
it's ABA and it kind of is
Okay,
business.
sorry about that. I had to
you
relocate
good.
because it was getting loud. I was outside and I
You
can't control
good.
the
It's all
You're
neighbors.
good. It's
you're
all
good. We
good.
were just praising you guys about the
All
whole
good.
Vegas championship thing. All right, Drew, go
So,
ahead. Off the hoof.
so my question to Al, it's kind of business related in a way, and it's kind of ABA related. It's like he said, and it's more of like it's not a question, it's more of a comment, and Al can approach this either way he wants. Like he said, you have guys like us who do this panel, and you have people who invest their time into it, their money into it, and for the brotherhood. I've always called it a brotherhood. And with brotherhoods, there's always going to be bickering and fighting and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But when it comes and we invest our time and money into it to build this, you kind of want to see it grow. And like you say, there's owners who don't believe in that. There's people who, like you said, Al said there was teams that didn't want to even pay $25 to help a guy out.
Yep.
So when you see that kind of conflict as an RC, a DC, and kind of a big name here in the West, does it make you kind of want to say like maybe that team doesn't deserve to be in the ABA anymore? Because if there's been talks and rumors that maybe if it does get bought out, they could condense it down to a total of 30 or 40 teams. And if that's the thing, some of these owners who've been, quote, hanging on, do you think they deserve to even move on?
It's a good
You
question.
bring up a very valid concern. And you see this in the same lens that I see it, right? Because you're absolutely right. I do look at that in that manner, because think about it. These things are resources that we need as a league, right? Our teams need these resources, and we're not spending the money to do it as an individual team, but you can find a resource to spend a very fraction of the money that it would take to get that resource fulfilled. And that's what I tried to do, right? So when you see that teams are not motivated and not interested in doing that because they think that you're going to steal the money, they think that you're somehow are manipulating the finances somehow, all that stuff, you really look at it in a concern to where, you know what, you're not even cut out to be in business. Scrap the team,
Yep.
scrap everything, right? You're not even smart enough to be a business owner if you don't think it's worth $25 of your money
Mm-hmm.
to help you get a resource that you don't have that would have cost you a few $100s, right? $25 versus a few $100s. If you don't see that that's better for you, then you're not even qualified to be in the role that you're in. You're only in that role
Right.
because Joe is coddling you and he's catering to your dream of being
Mm-hmm.
a hero. But this dream you have is going to stay in your brain because you are not going to execute the actions for that dream to become a reality, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, are you a dreamer or are you going to execute that dream and make it a reality? Well, you
Mhm.
got a few teams that's trying to make it a reality. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to set the environment for those guys to make it easy for them so they don't have to come out of pocket and spend an arm and a leg because Joe is building a league of poor owners. So I don't want to just, crap on his idea and his hopes and dreams and his wishes of this being a success. So I'm trying to find ways to make this poor ownership league be successful. So when you look at this league across the board, and I know you guys can kind of feel how it is, look at the difference in how we play ball on the West. Look at how they play ball in the North and in the
Mhm.
Central. Look at how they play on the South. Look at how they play in the East in the ABA. Which way would you feel you wanted to go and be a part of if you were a brand new owner looking at this from the outside and wanting to join this league? Where would you want to join at?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? You want to
Yeah.
join where you feel you can be successful. And I think from the outside, when you look at this, you want to join the West Coast group of teams because the West
Mm-hmm.
Coast group of teams are the ones that you see the most on social media with posts. And they're actually
Right.
quality posts now. They used to be trash posts, but now look at the posts.
Not lying.
Used to be
So,
trash.
yeah, the quality has improved. The frequency has improved. The consistency has improved. A lot of stuff has improved. Now, you just got to improve your ticket sales. You
Mhm.
got to get people to show up at these games because now the games are actually commendable. They're respectable. They're
Mhm.
worthy of the
Mm-hmm.
$10 ticket price, the $12 ticket price. Okay. You won't feel that you got screwed no more if you come and spend $12 to see an ABA game, especially to come see a Nova Star game. At the end of that game, you're going to feel that that $10, $12 was worth it. Okay. You got
Mm-hmm.
concessions, you got an announcer, you got stats, you got videographers, you got a live crew on game day at my games that
Live
make you feel
streamer.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, you got to make it feel like you just left a professional basketball game that's not the NBA, but it was still professional, right? And that's how you
Mm-hmm.
feel. We just got to get the other owners to see this,
Mhm.
to feel this way and to act this way and execute this way, right? A collective group of
Mm-hmm.
teams that are doing the things that you see when you come to my game is going to create respect. It's going to create like I want to be a part of it. Involvement. It's going to create involvement.
Mhm.
I want to be down with that,
Mhm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
these are things that I'm trying to show by doing it first, because there's been a few years that I've been trying to tell these owners that this is what they need to do. And then, the smart ass Eric, him and Jate, right? Because they don't want to look at themselves in this moment, they immediately deflect it. Well, Al, you ain't got no shot clock. You ain't got no lines on the floor. You ain't got. Okay, so now y'all want to talk about what I'm not doing while I'm trying to show you what it takes to be successful. Because I already know what it takes to be successful. What y'all don't know is I was in
Mm-hmm.
this league before you came in this league. And I
Right.
was doing all of this stuff already. And I was playing in a college. I wasn't playing in a community center. Okay. So I already did all of this. So you don't need to talk to me about how it needs to look. I'm trying to tell you what you need to do and how it needs to look. So when I'm telling you where you're missing some stuff, instead of saying, okay, let me fix it, they come back to me with, well, you ain't got no shot clock either. Or well, your
Mhm.
lines ain't down for the 3-point line either.
Yeah.
So, why you sweating me?
Mm-hmm.
Sadly,
Like,
sadly, that's a
that's
mentality of a
terrible.
lot of organizations, a lot of players too. It's the same thing, like you said, when you take a
Yeah.
player out of a game, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
they're
Yeah.
about themselves, not the
some
whole.
people, yeah, absolutely.
Nobody
I
wants
see
It,
to
both
point that
sides.
finger in the mirror. If you practice pointing the finger in the mirror, you'll stop pointing it at everybody else.
There's the quote. We
Okay.
needed a quote. There it is, guys. That's the
and
quote.
then that just goes to show you what a lack of accountability really is.
Hmm.
Like just take it in
Yes.
and like see what, because like for every argument there's like truth to it, like see the
Yep.
truth and don't see like how the message is presented. See like what it is. And that's the problem that players and certain people have, and that's what we need to address more.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, so we're gonna move on to our Rizzler, our little brother, the commentator Josh Pangan. This is our first time with his segment. We'll see what it is and what it's all about. No pressure, Josh. Go ahead.
So, Al, I'm really excited for this one because, obviously I love basketball. I love for the game, and I'm always trying to just, I guess, gain better knowledge, watch different styles of play, hear from different coaches' perspectives and whatnot. So I think my little segment, cheesy little name, but tactical time or tactics talks with the commentator, right? I think that'll be a little fun. So I guess my question to you, Al, and I don't want it to be stretch it any longer than it has to be. But my question for you is, for your Nova Stars for this specific season, obviously there's basketball's evolved like just over the years, and we can see the evolution not just within the NBA, but with the way that even people like street ballers play. If I'm being completely honest, like it hasn't really changed, but it has. So you have the space and pace. You have the old school like feed the big man in the paint in the post. You have the old like get it to the guy in the elbow, make cuts behind and make back doors. Right, a million different styles of things you can do in basketball. So my question to you is, heading into the playoffs for the Nova Stars for this season, what would you say best describes your tactical identity for the Nova Stars in the way that you guys play basketball for your brand this year, if that makes sense?
It does. And I'll be honest with you, we've struggled a bit this season with uh like really falling into a comfort zone with it, because we've seen different dynamics. We've added players along the way. So we have to figure out how to work those players in as well and get them to become a part of our consistency, right? So right now, you could say that we are just a team that's gonna run you. We're a scoring team. We can definitely put the ball in the hole. We got two 30-point scorers and a 20-point scorer right off the bat in three players, right? And then we've got some really good bench players. And then we've got another player that can give you 30 or 40 in a game. It just depends on how that game is structured. So that's three players now that can give you 30 points in a game. And that's Gary, Brandon, and Pat,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? They can go off at any time. Then you got Mister who gets the rebounds in the post. You got Dion, who's a veteran that can stretch you and hit the three, but he's not going to put up the 20s and 30s that he used to, but he's so effective, you have to commit a defender to guard him, right? So, we've got a few things that works. A couple guys coming off the bench is really the things that I've been looking for off the bench this year is just defense.
Yeah.
Because where we've been lacking is defensively making stops. So my rotations have changed a little bit with some of the guys that I'm pulling off the bench. It's not expected that I'm going to call these guys into the game first, right? But they've earned it because they've been locked in on defense the entire season. And what you have to realize is that if you're going to win a championship, you need those guys. You need those guys before you need your scorers, really. You got to get stops. The other team is going to score on you. You got to figure out how to stop them. So where are your defenders that can stop elite scorers? You got to have some of those. Or at least slow them down if you can't stop them. Because you can't stop the Kobe's. You can't stop the Jordans. You can't stop the LeBrons. But if you can slow them down, you can win games against them. But if you can't slow them down, it's going to be a long night. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
Right?
And every time someone plays against the Nova Stars, I mean, I know this, I have this approach. So whenever we go against you guys, no matter what team I'm working for, you guys have knowledge. You guys have experience. You guys have been there, done that. Whether you were an 8 seed or a champion, just like you said, Rittman. We're gonna have Rittman on our show coming up in a couple weeks. Actually, Rittman's one of my favorite players of all time. In all of the ABA, he's a great guy, smart guy, hard nosed player. Dion's one of the smartest guys in all of the ABA, and he don't take no crap from no one either. So, he lost. Ow. It's all right. Oh, here or there, you just have no face. So, and again, Dion, you have a lot of experience on that side, and you get a younger team like, say, the Mob or an up and coming team going up against you guys. Yeah, they may have the youth on their side, but you guys have the knowledge. So, and I personally, my experience, I feel that every time we go against you guys, regardless of who it is. So, I just wanted to give you that, give you your flowers for that one. George, go. We got about 13 minutes. Go ahead and go throw your Fab Five out at the boss man.
When he jumped back
Okay, is
on,
he even here?
I think he's here.
Yeah, if he
he,
dropped that on.
he's off.
Oh, he's off. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll get him back on right now. Um, but like I was saying, you guys, he did say he was in a bad area. Let me just text him the thing really quick one more time. But honestly, you
Okay.
guys,
No, it
what
was
we're
this was informative. And
very
like you said,
informative.
I think we're all kind of still kind of giddy that we're gonna get the championship.
I'm not gonna lie, I am.
Ricky's already over there getting all excited about it.
Bro, six
I
years
mean,
in the
that's something
making,
that we
dude.
never
6 years
done,
in the
you
making,
know?
dude. All the shit we went through, all the getting paid maybe
Yeah,
$40 for three
you
All the
people.
guys
Like,
working,
controversies that we went through.
you guys
yeah.
working for like 5 or 6 different teams.
Hmm.
Josh over there with the geniuses when they want to play. Me dealing with the crap I
When they
dealt
want
with.
to play.
Me dealing with the crap of the Suns and all the other crap. It's
Yeah.
just, it's about time. It's
Yeah.
about damn time.
And I mean, much love for the West. I mean, you got like the teams we just talked about. Even you got the Nova
And, and,
Stars who always put up a fight. You got the
and to
Suns, the Mob,
yeah,
you know.
and to
Yeah.
me, this just shows that if we put on a really good show next year at championship weekend, we might go back to back. We might host it a lot more than just one time.
I've always
this
said
isn't
that.
this
Mhm.
isn't just like an all-star game at Angel Stadium where it's in 89, then
Hmm.
31 years later back again.
Hmm.
This is actual facts where literally we can be hosting it like every other year or so
Hmm.
because we
Yeah,
put
that's
on that much of
facts.
a production.
And who
And
doesn't
that
want
would
to come
be
out here in the spring?
I mean, and that's just Vegas. I mean,
Yeah,
soon
and
we'll have
even
it in
well,
Cali. We could
yeah,
have it in
exactly.
Cali.
We could have it in San Bernardino. We could have it
Sorry,
anywhere. We could
fellas.
find.
Or
Battery
somewhere
died.
in
No,
LA,
you're
yeah.
good. We appreciate it. We were just talking about again the championship and how if we do good this year, next year, maybe we'll get it the year after. We can go to like maybe we can rent out the Chase Center or something like that. Who knows how big it's going to be then?
Right.
Okay, so we were just about to jump into George's Fab Five. So George, go ahead and get your Fab Five. We got about 10 minutes still. We're still good. George, Fab Five, all yours.
Okay, I actually have a two-parter.
Of course you do. Okay, go ahead.
So the first part is, what is your top 5 ran NBA owners of all time? It could be from any era. Like, what would those top 5 owners be on your Mount Rushmore?
Good question.
And so that's my first question.
Jerry Buss, right?
Okay.
Red Auerbach,
Oh, red. Yep.
Mark Cuban.
Oh, I like.
Okay. He's a great businessman, by the way.
Yep.
Yep. Owners. We're talking owners, not GMs,
Owner. It could
right?
be. What about GMs, George? That's about the same.
Oh yeah, GMs. We could throw in GMs too.
Okay. Jerry West.
That's
Okay.
Absolutely. And Pat Riley.
There it is.
There it is.
What do you think about that,
Okay,
George?
and then no, that's a great list right there. That's a great list. I can't argue against that. And then my second part of the question is, who is your top 5 coaches from any era, NBA coaches that you'll put on your Fab 5 Mount Rushmore? It could be from any era, top 5.
That's good.
Pat Riley, Phil Jackson.
Okay, I kind of knew that was
Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley. Let's see. NBA coach. Whew.
What about like Pop?
These are tough because I got a few I like, man. Like seriously. But I gotta tell you one coach that I feel is an NBA's coach, but he never coached in the NBA. That I would definitely put on my Mount Rushmore,
Coach
bro.
K?
And that's Coach K.
I knew it. Okay.
Yeah.
And he has coached
Coach K
NBA
is pretty
people
good.
in the Olympics. So
He has. He coached the Olympics. And they
let him to gold medals.
They've asked him to come up to coach in the NBA, but he refused because they asked him to come coach the Lakers. He wanted to because he wanted to coach Kobe, but he ended up getting his chance at the Olympics, so he was happy, and we didn't get him.
I remember that.
So, what is that? Three? Is
That's
that three?
Yeah.
That was three. That
Okay,
was
so
three.
who am I missing now?
So you already said Phil Jackson, Pat
And
Riley,
Coach
and then you
K.
said Mike K, Coach K.
Coach K.
So you
Yeah,
have two more.
I like Mike Brown.
Hmm.
I
Okay,
like Mike
Mike Brown.
Brown,
That's four.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Hard nosed
didn't like him
coach.
at first. I didn't like him at first, but I like him. I like what he's done and how he's handled himself throughout all of his moves.
And I think if it was, and I'll make a comment on this one, if it wasn't for Coach Mike Brown to uplift that Sacramento Kings organization, because without him, the Kings wouldn't be anybody since
Right.
that 2004 playoffs that they made. And then
Yeah.
like it just sucks that the Kings blackballed him only because of how he presented the message to his players. I didn't think he deserved to get fired, but it is what it is. But the Kings are just, I don't know, they're just not a good team right now.
Yeah, they are.
And like thanks
And
to Mike Brown, they're just they were like a relevant team when he was coaching over there.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to make that
and
comment.
and
They
an
never
easy
should have
one that I
fired him.
overlook.
Never should have fired him.
I definitely overlook Coach Pop. You got to
And
put
Pop. I
Pop on
love
the
Pop's
list,
my
bro.
fave. Pop's my fave.
Yeah.
All
I don't know
right.
how I missed that one.
Bro, that's one hell of a lineup right there. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
now we got about 6 minutes left. We'll jump into mine. Um, Mine's also NBA related. You being an owner, RCDC. Let's see. If you had to take over any NBA team right now, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Ha. Um, my Lakers. My
Okay.
Lakers. Yeah, they need me.
They need
They need me.
they need help. They need
And what?
they
And
need
a
help recruiting defenders.
follow up question: what would you do to improve them?
Stop
Get rid
LeBron.
of LeBron.
Get rid of LeBron. Well, he's going to Cleveland next year
I knew
anyway.
it.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, I
No,
mean, but
I
it's like,
actually agree with that.
I do too.
yeah, it's like this is something that's been needed or necessary, and for whatever reasons, they're afraid to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
People think it's because of the fact that he still sells tickets and do all these things. That's all fine and dandy, but this is how I know people are not very smart.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers are the number one organization in the freaking NBA. They don't need to sell tickets, bro. Okay?
No,
They gonna sell them
you got
regardless.
Luca.
Yeah, he ain't the reason that we selling tickets, and he never was the reason we sold a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we may have lost ticket sales at some point, and this is the case, or this, that, and the third. But if you're gonna think that he's the reason that we sell tickets, then what you're saying is that we are selling a clown show,
Uh-huh.
right? Because we ain't winning.
Yep.
So we ain't selling tickets because we're winning. What are we selling tickets for? Because it's a clown show. You get to watch him recruit his son. You get to watch him try to get him into lineup. You get to watch him do all of this crap and fire, players on the roster, recruit guys to the roster. You get to watch him just destroy a storied
The Laker
franchise
legacy.
Yep.
for his own benefit,
Yep.
right?
100.
So that's why I would say I'd go to the Lakers because they need me right now that they're allowing too much stuff to happen because of the political effect of it and the public scrutiny of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Lakers got to know that, hey, you guys are the alpha. You set the tone. There is no scrutiny. They're going to scrutinize how other teams respond based on how you respond in this moment.
Mhm.
So do the right thing and see how these other teams fall off or get on board. That's
Exactly.
that. They don't have that ability and courage and confidence to say, no, I'm gonna do it this way regardless of what the media says or how people feel about it, because we set the tone on how this game is played and where they're gonna watch,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
No,
that's why.
I'm 100 behind that, and us three Laker fans and that little guy with the orange hat over there. They probably agree with you. I definitely agree. I never was a LeBron fan. Yeah, I cheered for him when he came to the Lakers, but this whole Bronny thing drove me. These guys know I crap on it every time we can, and the fact they're gonna leave, let him take him to Cleveland. I don't even care because, like you said, it's a freaking circus. Speaking of circus, you got four. Go ahead.
Oh, I'll say this. All right, sorry to cut you off, Ricky. I'll say this before. I'll say this right now, here, right now. LeBron, please retire, please, because Like, no, I'm dead
No,
serious
yeah.
when I say this
Yeah,
because he accomplished everything.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple
everything.
titles, multiple MVPs, got like the all-time score. He's the NBA all-time scorer in the NBA, the whole organization.
Yep.
And I believe he's the all-time NBA scoring in the All-Star game. He got his son to like play in the NBA. Because
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't for his son, like let's be honest, he's not going to be in any NBA roster, let alone a G League roster. Let's just be
Yeah.
real. He was like the fifth best player when he went to Sierra Canyon. Let's just be real. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
So like, what more is he trying to accomplish? He
Mm-hmm.
accomplished literally like everything. What more does he have to give to the game?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that I just wanted to throw that out there, guys.
No,
So
No,
Yeah.
100.
I'll
people
say
could
a little
disagree with
tidbit
me,
too.
but I stand on that. I stand on that.
Oh,
Well,
I
it's just
know, right there.
I'll say a little quick comment on it too. Is literally longevity doesn't make equal greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you do something for a long time does not make you great. LeBron, 23 years, great. I'm gonna give you your flowers. You've been in the league so damn long.
And you've been to 10 straight finals,
Yeah. Yeah, we love.
which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
It's
100%
crazy that
true.
when you talk to people, bro, everybody has this same
Yeah, the
understanding
percentages
of the
don't.
game.
Yeah, percentages
But
don't lie.
yeah,
Percentages
but
don't lie. And then also, of course, he's going to have the most points because he's taken the most shots. He also holds the record for most missed shots.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the records, if we're going to go that route, George, but it's just stats don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
you're
like
right.
my dad is a diehard Laker fan. He's loved the organization since 1971, and he literally will say like Die
Dub
Hard.
saying wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
He'll dye yellow and black, yellow and purple
It's
all
true
day.
though. No, and
But
it's true.
he doesn't want LeBron to
Go
get a
ahead.
title. He's like, I want my Lakers to win, but I don't want LeBron to get a title. They
Yeah,
have
it's
that
a
same
weird
mentality.
situation. It's a weird situation. Okay, so wow. Okay. We literally jumped from everything to everything. Again, you guys, this is a double dribble, episode 79 with the Supernova Al Smith, sponsored by E1 Connect Marketing. Donovan Hilton, thank you so much. We've learned everything. I didn't know you were in the military. I didn't know you were in real estate. I didn't know where the Nova Star name came from. That was super cool to find out. 8 grandkids. You got the boys first. Good job. Smart move. Killed it in the Drew, met a dude from Coach Carter, brought a bunch of teams over, never played, and you've molded so many huge names: Patrick Whitman, Wesley Harris, Jimmy Ott, Deshaun Anderson, the O'Bannons, Antoine Tanner, just to name a few. Just to name a few, hundreds of players you have molded, so that have made them who they are today. Appreciate you so much for taking the extra time for us to learn more about your journey and about your life. So thank you so much for that. We're going to go into our final thoughts here. We each give a final thought, and then we'll let you go be free and go do your thing. Good luck tonight in your game. Be safe. I put on a hell of a show. George, I'm going to have you go first. What's your final thought?
Hey, just keep doing great things out. You're putting ABA into a great spot, and I can't wait to see it grow, especially when we have all-star games or final games over in Vegas next year. So looking forward to bigger and better things for you, Al, and certainly for on behalf of the Take Your Shot Media crew.
No, absolutely.
Appreciate it, man.
100. Drew?
Final shot is just, I'll continue to do the hard work as the DC, RC, putting the West on the map, throw up my W's. Yeah, West is the best. Let's put everybody on note. I'm going to leave it at that. The West is the best, and it's been for years. Everybody's on notice now. We ain't taking it back.
Same day delivery. 100. Josh?
Yeah, Al, again, just thanks for everything you do behind the scenes that we just had no idea about how much really goes on behind the scenes until you kind of brought it up. And again, the fact that we're gonna have a championship in Vegas next year, I mean, it's amazing and it's incredible, and hopefully we can get more of that in the future. And as far as your Nova Stars, best of luck, trying to get that 4 or 5 seed, trying to get that play in, best of luck. People hopefully one day will realize that the West, we have no joke teams. Like, we
Absolutely.
have no joke teams. We really do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's close it off. Who's got that TV going? It's kind of loud. Sorry, guys. I
think that's in my background.
It's all good. It's all good. We're loud. We're loud. I didn't want to ruin your last question, so I'm not trying to be rude. What a story, guys! This is so awesome. All right, last but not least, my final thought / final question. And I really thought this through because I've seen you as a coach. I know you as a man. I've worked with you as a DC. We had plenty of conversations last year where you're just like, Ricky, shut up, get off my phone. But you've also taught me a lot, and I thank you so much for that. My question, if you had to step down today, who is taking Al Smith's spot as a regional coordinator? There's so many good names out there that could do this from other teams, maybe in-house. Who would you put in your spot as the new RC for the West?
Um, it would be a toss-up between Dominic and Leilani. They both
Okay.
have
They
helped
both
me
have done
out
it.
as assistants in the past 2 years. Um, Dominic has a pretty good presence and he has a real good understanding of the league and what we've gone through because he's been here longer than Leilani. Um, Leilani would be a good choice because she has professional basketball experience working for
Mm-hmm.
the Warriors
Mm-hmm.
or working up there in that arena, right?
Okay.
So she knows basketball operations and what teams need and things like that. So those two are two really good people that could be successors if
Mm-hmm.
I was to step down.
All right. I
That's
100% back that because I worked with both of them as well, both on the phone and in on the court. So that would be a great I speak on behalf of myself. I don't know about my panel, but I 100% back that. Leilani runs her business in a very professional way. And we just had Neek last week and he was talking about it, because we
yeah,
asked him about being a DC/RC and
yeah,
everything that he went through. So I think I would back that 100%, sir.
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely.
again,
So we
Al,
would be in good hands. We would be in
no,
good hands if I stepped down.
well, we know that's not going to happen for what, another 50 years or so. So no, all seriousness, Al, you know you're like my uncle. I appreciate you being there when I need you. I both for basketball and life. We've had conversations about both, and I truly, truly am blessed to have you as my unc. I appreciate you as my DC, my RC. And just everything you're doing behind the scenes that now people know about. People haven't known about this for years, and they now you've put
Right,
it out there. Now people are gonna know, oh shit, we really shouldn't give this guy so many problems about X, Y, and Z because he's dealing with A, B, and C.
right,
It's not easy. So I personally last year I was there in the meetings, so I saw it. These guys haven't seen it. They've seen it on the court, but and other teams when they see this video, they'll be like, "Oh snap, I didn't know that. Maybe we should chill on that, or maybe we could work with him on this or something like that." So again, thank you so much to Al Smith, the soldier, Al Smith, the man, the dad, the grandfather, and most of all, our ABA, RC, and DC. Al Smith, thank you so much on behalf. Patrick Rittman's getting in right now. On behalf of Agent Drew, Joshua Pangan, the Go Baller, Georgia Troll, Double R, Ricky Rodriguez. Again, we're sponsored by E1 Connect Marketing, Donovan Hilton. This was Take Your Shot Media Crew presents Double Dribble episode 79 with the Supernova, Mr. Al Smith. Al Smith, thank you so much. You have a great rest of your day. Be blessed and be safe tonight at your game, brother.
great. One thing I want to add. Well, we
Go
don't
for
have a
it.
game tonight. I don't think
Oh, I
Eric
thought
was
you got
able
a
to
game
get it.
tonight. Okay.
We did, but Eric wasn't able to get a gym secure, so we
Oh,
had to
no.
cancel that
Okay.
game.
Okay.
One of my pet peeves,
Okay.
because you were talking about all the stuff that I deal with, right? And all the stuff that they want me to deal with. One of my pet peeves is when I have to deal with questions from owners about what's the worst thing that can happen in a situation, you know, I don't like that. Because
Okay.
if you're asking me about the worst thing that can happen in a situation, that means you're expecting the
Yeah,
worst
you're
thing.
thinking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're expecting to go out and
That's
do the
facts.
worst thing for this situation, and you're asking me what can happen so you can figure out how to avoid the punishment. So I kind of keynote those type of questions that I get from owners when they're asking me what's the worst thing can happen, because
Hmm.
now you're gonna make me side eye you because
Yeah.
you're gonna try to pull a fast one on me and do
Hmm.
something terrible to a fellow owner,
Yeah.
you know?
That's not
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's not
I
right.
just wanted to throw that in. I get that a lot, and that's one
Well,
of my
put it
pet
out
peeves.
there, Al. This is what the show's all about. It's about to get knowledge to people. It's about to let people know, hey,
Yep, yep,
we're working our ass off here. I worked my ass off for, the I as in you, all these years, and now I got you guys a championship coming next year. All the hell we've been
right,
through with the West being just stomped on, not team wise, because
right,
we got great teams out here, but like mentality, it's okay, Midwest East, Midwest East, Midwest East,
right,
always
right.
all-star games, championships, whatever. And you're bringing it to us. We're getting it, and we should get it. Like Drew said, best in the West. So
Yep.
That's all. I'm gonna leave it at that. Best in the West, the Supernova, Al Smith. Al, appreciate you. You enjoy your night off then, brother. If not, head down to
Yep.
the IE. We got Hounds and the Bulls tonight, 8 p.m. You want to roll
Oh
down?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I might do
surprise
something
everybody.
like that.
Sounds
I'm
good.
free
Let it.
tonight.
Well, let us know
Nothing
because
else
me
to
and George
do.
will be there. Me and George will be there for sure.
I
So
might roll up on you. It's at Norton, right?
yeah, it's at Norton.
At the Norton.
All right, cool.
Hey,
Sounds good. We're gonna
hey,
hit up Chicken George Restaurant too, about
hey,
4:30
before
or so.
before
Rit, jump on
before y'all
Rit.
get off
Oh, it's
this
McNeely. McNeely, go ahead.
before y'all get off this call, let me say something real quick.
Go ahead. This is Anthony
Al,
McNeely, the coach
Al,
of the Vegas Royals. Go ahead.
Al have known me, what is it, 6 years now, Al? 7? And
Something like that. Yeah.
me and Al got off to a
Stop it,
very
Drew.
rough start. Me and Al got off to a very rough start. With my
We
first stint
did.
in the ABA and everything. I had to get some clarification from people. I finally got a chance to talk to Al, bro. I think I talked to Al, bro, for 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
to clarify some things and learn about the league and things like that. And then I realized, bro, the person who I was dealing with, nice person, but brother, you suck. You know, but I love my brother to death, man. I'm always give him a hard time, um, but nah, man, Al do a lot, man. And for Al to have stuck by me, you know, for this long, and then found out that when I went to the Royals and everything, and I decided to go to the Royals and stuff, and he was like, you know what? I don't think that's bad. I think he'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up winning the division and everything for the first time, man. Al was one of the first people to call me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And, tell me congratulations and everything. And if you have any questions, if you want to talk, man, let me know. Because my first season was a lot, man. That was a lot to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And just to kind of put it in perspective, fellas, Anthony started out on the wrong team, doing stuff the wrong way, trying to manipulate the system, and he was in my crosshairs. So that team was getting shot at left and right every week because they were just really off the chain. And Anthony was calling me not knowing why things was happening the way it was and why I was treating that team the way I was treating them. And because I'm telling him one thing and then he'll go back and try to make it right and comply to what I'm telling him. But then his owner will tell him something different and say, well, I got this. We ain't got to do it that way or whatever it was. And he was just really getting a bad rap of understanding coming in the door. And yeah, that's why we didn't hit it off. So you looking at me like, oh, this Al cat, he ain't shit. He on some
Nah,
bullshit,
brother. Nah,
like
but
for real.
Al doing his thing, man. And like I said, man, I appreciate you for what you've done for me, personally, in this league, man. And like I said, man, I don't know where I would be. You are a good reason why I'm here. You are one of the biggest reasons why I'm still here, man. And I appreciate you for what you do for us. I really do, from the bottom of my heart.
Hey, it's gonna be like that, man, when you build relationships with people that are solid. I mean, you got Pat just tapped into the call. He's on the line now. You think about what me and Pat has gone through in the past few years that he's been with the team. It's been some ups and downs, right?
Yep.
I didn't had to go off on him and stuff like that. And he's had to tell me how he feels.
Well, you know
be
what? Let's go ahead. Let's let him say a little something. Here's
Yeah, Pat,
the
respond.
Nova Stars guard and superstar Patrick Rittman.
Rittman, what up, dog?
Hey, Ritt, what you got to say about this? We got a couple minutes.
Ritt, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
What's
I
up,
I
man?
love this guy, by the way.
Good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, like Al said, man, when I first got to the Nova Stars, they had already had a background of winning and stuff like that. And I think they were more so in I guess we call it the rebuild mode, where it wasn't a lot of returning players, only a few. And that was when I kind of came onto the scene with the ABA. But yeah, when I first got there, I had a chip on my shoulder because coming from high school, I never got to play varsity basketball. So my whole thing was wherever I played it, I wanted to prove to myself that I always should have been on the court and being able to play at a high level. Just prove that to myself, not more so not anybody else. So I was bumping heads with the wrong people. I shouldn't have been bumping heads with my teammates and my coaches, but I just had so much of this animosity and competitive nature built up that I hadn't been able to let out. And so yeah, like we had that rocky start, but Al was feeding me information. Maybe I didn't like his tone at times. That could have been a little bit better. But
You need me to
over
pay?
the years, I was able to apply what he was telling me,
Let me
and
know
I
when you're
think
ready
it's
for me
been
to
working.
pay.
And I think it's been working out.
Yep. Okay,
Oh,
Drew. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we'll see you,
All right.
Drew.
you
Hey,
sure?
Gotta head
Drew.
out. We're pretty much almost done. Also, don't forget these two men above up here. We got them both coming. Anthony McNeely's March 21st. I believe Patrick. I don't want to be. I might be wrong, but I thought it was March 15th, somewhere around there. A couple of weeks. We're
Somewhere
gonna have
around
both
there.
these guys. So both these guys are coming on. I'm excited for it. So again,
Yeah.
y'all, we're gonna let these guys go have some lives. I know George has got to drive down to my pad so we can get to the IE and go get some chicken at Chicken George restaurant, Josiah's restaurant. So Al, if you want to
Sounds
roll
good.
down, we're gonna go there about
Hey,
4:30.
and one last thing
Yo,
before we go, I'm always one last thing, right?
you're good.
Since Pat popped in, I want to make sure to give notice because you had mentioned
Right.
earlier about some of the team, the players that I had influence with helping move forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely a group of alumni Nova Stars that have been a part of building this operation with me from the ground up that
Uh-huh.
are out there playing right now. Justin Pierce is
Mm-hmm.
on the court currently, just won a championship, got MVP in the finals. I don't know if he's MVP of that league, but Nova Stars in action that came here, went through some of the same dynamics and struggles that Pat is going through with
Mm-hmm.
having to learn how to listen to a coach and be on the same page in tune with the coach,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's like when guys start understanding that this is what we're teaching and this is what we're showing you how to do, they take that and make it a part of what they've been doing to become professionals, and that's how they get to the next level. And that's the biggest part of how they get to the next level versus putting up a bunch of numbers, putting
Mm-hmm.
up a bunch of points, the stats looking good, your film looking good. All that stuff can still look good, but I have to be able to tell that recruiter that's trying to recruit you that
Mm-hmm.
you listen, you're coachable, you're consistent, you're a team player, you're going to show up, right? That's what he really want to hear. You're going to be an extension on the court for you as a coach. When I'm able to say these things to the recruiter, that's going to get you the job before your 30-point performance, before, all the stuff that you did that you thought was going to get you the job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other dynamic to it because, hey, there's been a couple times that they've called me about some players and I was like, nah, this dude came to the bench kicking chairs. As soon as he got subbed, I said, you ain't going to want that. Because
Mm-hmm.
when they go to the level after me, you got to remember those teams have sponsors, they
Mm-hmm.
have an image, they have things that they
Mm-hmm.
got to uphold. And if you aren't used to doing that, you're going to slip up and you're
Mm-hmm.
going to screw up their
Mm-hmm.
sponsorship deal. And then you're going to screw up your job opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Nova Stars is going to be a part of that whole aftermath because it's going, where'd you get this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Al told me, and now here you
Then it's
go.
on you.
Yeah, now here I go.
Yeah.
So that's the part that people don't really get. And with Pat, shit, Pat don't know it, but Pat was cut with me twice. I'm like, man, I ain't calling that dude back. I ain't got time to deal with the attitude. Pat's great. I'll fuck with him if he gonna show up, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
about to go chase nobody,
Absolutely.
right? That I know needs work, that don't want to hear that they need work.
Mm-hmm.
But Pat showed back up the next year without no call, no fucking reach out, nothing. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let me see what he gonna do this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw improvement. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, long as I see improvement,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the fairest guy that you ever want to meet. But if I'm sitting there telling you shit
For
and you ain't trying to hear
JP
me,
James.
I'm done with it. And Pat
Mm-hmm.
can tell you, I just sent the text message to the group telling them I'm done with all of these guys that I've been dealing with this year that don't want to commit and don't want to be what they say they want to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? We practice every week. Pat's frustrated because we ain't got all our players there.
Mm-hmm.
Pat can't get on the same page as a team so he can make us look good so that he can get a job because
Mm-hmm.
all these dudes ain't showing up at practice. It matters to players like
Mm-hmm.
Pat, to players like
Yep.
Isaiah, to players like DeCaren. And they at practice every week, but
Mm-hmm.
they can't get their shit together so they can go out on stage and perform at the show and at the concert at the top of their fucking performance level
Yep.
because half the fucking group and half the singer and the choir didn't show up, right?
Yeah,
So
100.
yeah,
it's
and
like,
this, yeah,
yeah. So
it's
it's
just
frustrating. So I had to send a message to protect Pat, to
Mm-hmm.
protect Isaiah, to protect DeCaren, to protect me, to protect Mister, to
Mm-hmm.
protect Gary. I got about 5 or 6 guys on this team that I need to protect from the bullshit that we're getting from the rest of the team.
Yep.
All right.
And that's a lot of
So I had to
organizations,
send a message.
unfortunately. That's a lot
And
of
we had to do
organizations.
it last year. Look at last year. We started out 5-0. Who started this team this year when we started back? Half of that team is gone.
Yep.
Right? I'm not dealing with the bullshit no more. I'm gonna
And
let
we,
people self-destruct. I'm telling them what they need to do. I'm telling them how they need to come to this team and mentally. And it's like at this point, you're a grown man, you're an adult. You need to do what you need to
100.
do, or I'm gonna do what I need to do. Those are the only 2 choices that's gonna come out of this.
Yep.
So you either go do what you need to do and be a part of what I need from you, or I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and I'm gonna replace you with somebody that wants this spot a whole lot more than you want it. And they're gonna come out like the Justins. They're gonna come out like the Jeff Montenegros. You know, they're gonna come out. Jeff Montenegro, I had to turn him all the way around, bro. But look, he got a job going overseas. He's out here winning one-on-one competitions. He's getting picked up on 3 versus 3s. You know why? Because he learned how to be a big guard and a strong guard. Pat, same way. He's a big guard. He's always been a big guard, always been a strong guard. But mentally, he got to get out of his ego. You got to let that go and just get into the game. Look, let the game flow, because your game is going to silence all the rest of the bullshit that you got to hear because of your ego.
Yeah.
So it just shut up and let the game shut them up.
Yep.
Because the game is going to.
I'm glad you said I got an ego, man. Because when you don't compare me to nobody, man. I'm the best guard in the ABA right now.
Save that. Save that. Save that for your show. Save that for your show.
But at the end of the day, Pat looks at the stats, bro. Look at the stats. Pat is in the top of the group when it comes to this league. The stats are there for the whole league to see. Yep. And what you got to look at is like Pat plays more games than everybody else. So you can't count him out if his stats ain't at the top. You got a motherfucker at the top of the stats and points that played one game and scored 45, 60 points in one game. He's not really an average scorer of 60 points. But when you look at Pat that played 19 games and he's averaging close to 30 points, that's a real average, right? That's a whole different ball game. But at the end of the day, these are the lessons that sometimes the players like Pat learn late. They learn late that, you know what? I'm good enough to where I can shut these motherfuckers up.
Yep.
Let them talk.
Yep.
I'm just going to let them talk. Here, pass the ball, nigga. You hear what he said? Okay, cut. Yeah, you. All right, dime, nigga.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 2 points, right?
Yeah.
Was I part of that 2 points? Okay, shut the fuck up. All right, give me the ball back. Here, where we at? Oh, I got a mouse. Here we go. You know, to the cup, lefty. Was that 2 more points I'm a part of?
Yeah.
Okay, shut the fuck up. You know, that's how you shut a motherfucker. I love it, bro. That's how I play. That's how I am, because I know goddamn well this wet ball is going to shut some niggas up.
So
they start talking shit to me. Okay, for real? Oh, pass me the ball. Look at the flick of the wrist.
I love it.
In your ass.
There you go, Pat. Now, I want to leave it at that, y'all. So Al, you can see he's getting really passionate about this, because this is not just it's not just basketball, y'all. This is life. People want to shut you up if you don't go in and try to learn from the ones that have been there, and you're willing to take the steps to become the better person. You're gonna be better in life. And speaking of life, remember, when life hands you the ball, take your shot.
Take your shot. And before you get off,
you're killing me, George.
Like,
you killed our.
I know. Just one more thing.
It's a sign off for a reason.
You're worse than me.
I know. Just one more thing. No. So going to Al's point, like if any players do not show up in practice, they shouldn't even play in the game.
Agree.
They really shouldn't, because that's what our coach always says back in high school. Because like what it's gonna do is gonna show like how the chemistry is looking just by looking at it. You don't even have to tell them like, oh, did you practice? You just see it on the court. Like they didn't even show up in practice. You know why? Because like they don't practice, and it's gonna show on the fucking court.
That's a company
based
too.
on what Patrick Rimmon's playing, I could tell that he really practiced on his jump shot. He really practiced everything that he needs to do. He's watching film, and I'm pretty sure Al's watching film with his players, and that's what you have to do to become a good team. Because without those things, you're never going to become a good team, and therefore you're never going to become great in life. Because everything comes in practice and sacrifices, and that's what a lot of people don't even understand.
And that is the views of George's greatness. Again, you guys, we got to get going. Thank you so much to Al, Patrick Rittman for joining, Coach McNeely, Josh, Drew, George. I'm Double R Ricky Rodriguez. Again, Double R Double Dribble, episode 79 with the Supernova, Al Smith. As expected, it went longer than expected, but hey, we'll take it. I love the story. It was awesome. We love you. Hopefully, we'll see you tonight over in San Bernardino. We're out of here. Again, when life hands you the ball,
Take your shot.
Take your shot.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.